got the car in the shop, we got it on jack stands, we took the wheels off of it, and we're getting ready for the final assembly. We've been here all day, it's late night, but we made it happen. We put all the parts on the car, bezels, lights, trims, wheels. We dropped the car, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So we're about to get home, get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow on the road. Ever since I can remember, it gives me a sense of gratification to take something in pieces and put it back on the road. I pursued my passion and built a company that specializes in concourse level restorations. After all these years, I've perfected the process of building cars without breaking the bank. My name is Shant Meshefedjian, and this is CMS Motorsports and Restoration.
So we basically clean everything underneath on the engine bay, wheel wells, and also the wheels with new technology, which is dry ice cleaning. I can blast it very carefully, basically whatever I want, especially with the machine what we have. If you know the setting what you have to put it there, then you are good to go and you can clean it everything. So you're not using any chemicals, you're not using any water. I can clean leather interior if I want. I can do full electric components. It's just pure dry ice and it's cleaning like nothing else.
We're here at Vintage Motorworks in Van Nuys, California. The car just got here from Jacobs with the ice blasting and it's getting ready for all the upgrades for suspension and braking. Let's go take a look. Hey, what's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up, Sean?
How's it going, buddy?
Good, how are you?
All right, all right.
I'm Nico McCoyan, this is Vintage Motorworks. We've been at this location for close to 12 years now. Restoring classic American muscle cars and British sports cars and all the fun stuff in between. Looks pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
Check it out, yeah.
I've known Shant since I was like 15 years old. He's seen me before the beard. Yeah, I mean, like these areas, typically they'd be just filled with grime and dirt from just over the years, and now it's all fresh and clean.
Looks great. The bottom of this car is pretty solid. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom of this car is, it's an honest car. It definitely hasn't seen anything damaged from underneath or any undercarriage issues. Overall, it's nice having everything clean before we start throwing on some shiny parts, just because now we're not worried about, the clean parts getting dirty.
And shiny parts adds horsepower, you know that. All right, man. Hey, I'm super excited to get started on this stuff. So yeah, let's rock and roll.
Definitely, it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. At this stage of the repair, we're mainly focusing on getting this car to handle and to stop. Now, this car originally, when I purchased it, it came with a drum brake rear end from the previous owner, which is not correct for the 93 Cobra. Originally, the car came with a 4-lug, 4-wheel disc brake setup. So when we got together, I consulted with Nick and I basically mentioned to him what my goals are as far as getting this car to handle better and to stop better than the factory product. And we basically went with his recommendation. We're completely upgrading it to a 5-lug with a bigger diameter rotor, 6-piston calipers.
I previously had a Foxbody. It was actually my first car when I was 16 years old, driving into high school. Some of the things that I suggested to Sean were things that I was even thinking about doing before I got rid of my car. For braking, we went to Willwood, trusted brake company that I use on a lot of my builds. I'm using a 6-piston caliper up front, a 2-piston in the rear, and obviously a much bigger rotor than the factory setup that will get this car stopping properly.
What we're doing is we're going a step further. So we've basically sourced an SN95 rear end, which sits about 3/4 of an inch wider to give us a much more flush look on the wheels. In addition, we've completely rebuilt the rear end, fresh bearings, fresh seals. We went with the Ford Motorsport 373 gears with the pan and girdle to get this thing nice and tight. I know it's not the factory rear end for the vehicle, but it's definitely an upgrade from what the car came with from the factory, and I'm sure that Nico would agree. Going with the 5-lux setup, you have a lot more option on wheels and obviously a lot more strength on axles and such.
Yeah, absolutely. The 5-lug is definitely a much better upgrade for the car and for what we're trying to achieve.
In regards to the suspension for the rear end, we're going with the adjustable lower control arms, and to eliminate the quad shock setup and the upper control arms, we're going with the panhard bar.
Right.
We're going with the torque arm, which I'm pretty sure you've experienced amazing
Yeah, a lot
results.
of that stuff is going to correct the suspension geometry problems that we were talking about previously, where they have the quad shock, they have just the lack of suspension geometry really is what the problem is with these cars. And the rear end feels very stiff in some places, and then feels too soft in other places.
Right.
But I mean, generally what I've always experienced from the Foxbody is just the rear end is just super stiff and does not travel the way it should.
And that's why these cars were so tail happy.
Right.
Once you hit the gas, you hit a little
Oh,
bump,
yeah.
the thing used to go all over the place.
Right.
So the role of the panhard bar and the torque arm, it's to pretty much keep the geometry of travel on the rear end corrected and controlled, mainly is what it is, especially under load. This is all track proven stuff. We've had experience with all types of upgrades to rear suspension on this car, which makes a tremendous difference when it comes to cornering, handling, or just everyday driving. One other upgrade that we're doing is we're basically going with the subframe connectors. These are by BBK. This is a bolt-on unit. They do have weld-on and bolt-on. The reason why I am going with the bolt-on setup is I don't want to rip the interior apart, get the carpets and everything out in order to weld it. The car is not going to be heavily tracked. It's just going to be a fun street car. These will definitely make a big difference to keep the body rigid and to keep it nice and solid.
When we install the Willwood rotors, Willwood basically recommends to wire lock the nuts because they are drilled to run the wire lock through it. And some guys do it, some guys don't. In my shop, we always do it because it's just an extra precaution in case that bolt does loosen up or that Loctite does somehow not do its job. You have that extra safety precaution of having a safety wire so the bolt does not come apart and your rotor doesn't come in pieces. We could definitely go further, but what we've done already is already going to be a huge upgrade to the car from a braking standpoint and from a suspension standpoint. Can't wait to see his reaction when he sees all his new goodies on his car.
We're back here at Vintage Motorworks to check out what Nico's done to the Mustang. Let's go on in and talk to him about it. I'm super excited. What's up, Nick? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Sean?
How you doing, my man?
Good, how you doing, man?
All right, all right.
Excited to see the Mustang?
Yeah, oh yeah, super excited. There she is.
Yeah.
Wow, this thing looks good, man. Nice.
Subframe connectors. It's got the big torque arm running back to the differential, the new diff with the 5-lug axles.
Nice. How was it? Did everything fit pretty nice?
Yeah, everything fit pretty well for the most part. I mean, the main battle was the panhard bar bracket. That was the most time-consuming thing.
So yeah, this Maximum Motorsport stuff works pretty good. They've got so much experience under their belt. Everything's pretty much pre-measured and.
Yeah, those guys. You know, they know the ins and outs of these Fox bodies. They've kind of done all the R&D for us.
Nice, nice. Well, I can't wait to get this thing set up, aligned and balanced. And
Looking sweet.
you know, rip around Mulholland a little bit.
Yeah,
See
why
see
not?
how it does.
Maybe I'll join you.
Yeah? Thank you, brother.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course, man. Beautiful. So we just got the car back from Nico's shop at Vintage Motorworks, and all I can say is wow. Not only does it run well, but it stops and it handles phenomenal. Wow, this thing is an absolute beast on the straightaway. Can't wait to take this thing on the canyons. Catch you later. We brought the car back to the shop, we put all the Cobra decals on it, gave it a final polish, and now it's ready to take it down the coast to the beach. So when we first got into this project, it was a very special piece for me, not only because I do have some history with the car and I do have some sentimental feel on a 1993 Cobra, but it gave me a good feeling to exert my passion on this vehicle that's been neglected for 7 years in a parking lot. There was more work than we anticipated. There was not much body damage on the car. Some of the rust spots we fixed. We weren't planning to give the car a complete paint job, but after doing the paint correction, we discovered that 60% of the car needs help. So we decided to respray the whole thing. The BASF Glasrit 90 line 2-stage paint, the finish is absolutely gorgeous. Andre at New Life Upholstery did an absolute amazing job on the full interior on the vehicle. We did source a set of period correct flow fit seats and wrapped them in phenomenal Italian leather, so it's got that fit and finish like a tailored look. It's very comfortable and it holds you and grips you just right. The ice blasting was definitely worth it over at Jacobs. All the grease, dirt, grime, overspray, everything that was accumulated over the years just basically got blasted away. What Nico performed at Vintage Motorworks, he got the suspension all right. We went ahead and put the panhard bar in the back, the torque arm. We got rid of all that original Ford equipment. We put a bigger brake kit so the car can handle and also stop better. And believe me, it made a humongous difference not only on stopping power, but looks as well. So if you do want to take this car through the canyons, you want to have a fun track day, it's ready to go. One thing that I did want to pay attention to is the stance of the car, because that's what kind of makes it or breaks it for me. The rear end got kicked out about 3/4 of an inch with the SN95 setup, and that's what gives it the perfect flush fit against the quarter panels without rubbing. The exhaust took a little bit of work because of all the hardware and all the suspension goodies in the back, but it turned out phenomenal. And me, by just taking it out for the first time and seeing the grin and the smiles and all the joy that this car gives other people, just makes me feel good that I put another legendary piece of Ford machinery back on the road. I just want to thank everybody that was on the journey of this legendary vehicle's build. Thank you for putting all your heart, soul, and your true passion in putting another legend back on the road. We had a fantastic time with this project, and I'm truly looking forward to the next build. We'll see you on the next one at CMS Motorsports and Restorations.